Welcome to our Amud Yomi Shiur. Good morning. We are in our daily Shiur in Makkos. Daily Amud Yomi. About to finish Maseches Makkos, but not yet. We are in Daf Yutes Amud Beis, Daf Yutes Amud Beis. And I have to admit that I made a mistake yesterday, but I was happy to see that my mistake was where I got confused at the end of Shir is exactly Tosfos's question. In other words, what I didn't understand and some got stuck is exactly Tosfos's question. I saw the Tosfos before, but I didn't see this Tosfos. And then I looked at Tosfos, I looked at the Ritva, and now life is good. This Shir is Leilu Nishmas, Etel Chaya Bas Eliezer, mother of Ellen. Lo Nishmas of Imoyri Menachem Elakiva, Lo Nishmas all the people that were murdered in Gaza, Lo Leinu, the kidnapped people that were murdered, the Shem Yishmo, Hirsch, and all the others. No, Shem Yazon. Should see Tchias Amesim soon. Okay, so now let's restart from Yosef of Chanina of Ravoshia. Yeah, a little bit before the narrow lines. Yosef of Chanina of Ravoshia, of Chanina of Ravoshia, we're learning about Meiser Sheni. We all know Meiser Sheni has to be eaten in Yerushalayim, or if it's outside Yerushalayim, you redeem on money, you paid on money, you switch the Kedusha on money, and now the money is Kodesh, you take it to Yerushalayim, you buy stuff over there. But then the question is as follows. Yosef of Chanina of Ravoshia, Apischa Yerushalayim, you have to change the words here. The version here is wrong in the Gemara. Avchanina Voishia erase the words Kamibailu. Avchanina Voishia were sitting a Pischa Yerushalayim. They were physically sitting by the doorstep, by the opening, by the gates of Yerushalayim. Vekamibailu. Now you have to put in the words and add a question. What's a question? Pshita. Many questions start with Pshita. It's clear to us that Hu b'chutz u'mastoi b'fnim. The story is as follows. A person is outside and a masa is inside, which means a person is outside and masa, let's say the person is holding the fruit. That exactly was what was my mistake. We're talking about a person who's holding the fruit, like you said at the end. He has a backpack. You know, sometimes people have the backpack in the back, sometimes they have it in the front, you know, like the babies. So Masoi Bifnim, the fruit is inside, yeah, and he is outside. The person is outside the walls. The fruit that he's holding is somehow inside, although he's outside. Then Kaltu Mechitzois, once we have the fruit inside, although the person is outside, but the fruit is inside, Kaltuhu, what I call the black hole. Yeah, things disappear in black hole, they're never seen again. So once the fruit is in Yerushalayim, even if you want to take it out again and be poide, too late. It's the Rabbanon, we'll see later. But once it's inside the walls, it's niklat, it's absorbed in the Kedusha of Yerushalayim, and you can't take it out already to redeem it and use the money instead. That's clear, because obviously the fruit is the name of the game. The fruit itself is what's supposed to be in or out. Once the fruit is in, I don't care you are outside, your fruit is inside. So the fruit they kilu chapt, or were chapt, where they're in the claws of Kedusha, that's it. You can't take them out and redeem the Kedusha. Now the question is, hu befnim umasoy b'chutz mau. What happens if he's inside and the fruit are outside? What would be the halacha then? What was my mistake? My mistake, Baruch Hashem, was also Tosa's question. And that is, it sounds like the guy's inside, and Masoy B'chutz, as I was describing yesterday, he's inside, and the fruit is outside, he's in Yerushalayim, and the fruit is in Bet Shemesh. And then there was a question. But that cannot be the case, because if we follow the Gemara later, something later on won't make sense. Meaning, clearly, if you're in Yerushalayim in a tiyul, in the old city, and you have Ma'aser Sheni in Bet Shemesh or in Haranof or in Ramat Eshkol, wherever, of course the fruit can still be brought in. Yeah, because the fruit is completely different entity. Yeah, the fruit can still be nifta. Excuse me, that's a chiddush. The fruit can still be redeemed. Yes, I can call my friend in Ramat Eshkol or my son, and I can say, "Can you be poide the fruit?" Because the fruit is not connected to me b'chlal. I'm in Yerushalayim. Ma kesher to my fruit. What's the problem? The question is when, as I think you were saying, as let's say, hu b'fnim amasoy b'chutz. I'm inside, and I have a backpack on my back. I have a backpack on my back. So the fruit and I are one entity. It's mashma a bit from the Ritva also. I'm together with the fruit. Yeah, that's already a question. I'm inside, and the fruit that's connected to me is still inside. It's still outside. That's a question. When the fruit are I and I are together, the fruit and I, that's the name of the story, yeah? The fruit and I'm inside, the fruit is outside, but they're connected to me, and it's my masa. You see the word? Masa means burden. Masa means, my what I carry, my carry on, the thing that I carry, my burden. So it's part of me, and that's already a question. On one hand, the fruit is outside. So maybe I can still be poida. On the other hand, the fruit is connected to my body and I'm inside. So maybe it's kilo, the fruit is inside. Danilo Saba B'Dever B'Shimon Ben Yochai comes the elder of the Shiva of Shimon Ben Yochai, and we quote him as saying, "Kirchak mimcha hamakom mimiluacha." Irchak mimcha hamakom mimiluacha. Machlokes Rashi and Rambam have to learn it. But lemaise mimcha doesn't mean part of you. Mimcha means all of you, which means either you're inside or the fruit are inside. You cannot redeem anymore. That's the Rivan is Machmir. Mimcha means any miluacha. Miluacha is you and everything, any part of you that fills the space that you or your burden fill up. Either you or your fruit, whichever one is inside Yerushalayim, you cannot redeem the fruit anymore, which means the answer is no. If I'm inside Yerushalayim, my backpack full of grapes and beautiful Maisel Sheni stuff, Te'enim, Remoinim, is what? Is outside, but connected to me. Because it's part of my milu, my whole, me and my burden, and I'm inside, it's as if the fruit is inside also. Yeah? And therefore I cannot redeem it. I cannot redeem it and say, it's still outside. No, but you're inside. And the fruit is connected to you, and therefore you cannot redeem the fruit too late. It's as if the fruit is inside, you can't redeem it anymore. Boy, Rav Papa, now everything will make sense with the question. That question was the problem. Now the question is very good. Nokitle bekanyamai, very good. What would be the halacha as follows? I'm inside, and there's a cane, there's a stick, there's a pole, yeah? And I'm in Yerushalayim, and there's a 5 meters pole, and I can handle it, and I carry it. That 5 meter stick, on the other end of the stick is what? The Maisel Sheni, and they're outside the Choima. Says the Ritva, what's halacha? On one hand, it's not really connected to me. It's not a backpack attached to my body like a baby to the mummy. On the other hand, it's my koyach. It's not lying on the floor. It's not like in far away in Ramat Eshkol sitting on the floor. It's really where? Connected to me, held by my koyach, by my power. So maybe it's considered as if it's inside. Because I'm inside and I'm carrying it. But I'm not carrying it up close. I'm carrying it from afar. That's already a question. Teiku, Tai. Yeah, Teiku means Tish B'Tat Kushabayos. No team one, Teiku. Yeah, that's it. We don't know what's the halacha. The truth is later on the Gemara will resolve the question. But as of now, it's a Teiku. We don't know. What don't we know? If you're in Yerushalayim and you're carrying a long rod, and at the end of the rod you have the fruit of Maisel Sheni, can you or can you not redeem the Maisel Sheni? Can you quickly go out and say, I don't want to eat them inside? No, I want to redeem them for cash and I want to have steak inside. Yes or no? As of now, it's a question. Weiter. Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem, yeah, now clear? Good. Baruch Hashem. Yeah, you can all, that's Elul. You can do tshuva. I'm doing tshuva now on the mistake I did yesterday. Amar Vasi Amar B'Yechonon. Meiser Sheni Memosech Yovin Olav. Tremendous chiddush over here. When are you chayav on Meiser Sheni? From what point you're chayav on Meiser Sheni if you eat it without pidyon? We always think, or we always thought, if I have Meiser Sheni, I separate Meiser Sheni in my field in the northern Negev, wherever it is. I have Meiser Sheni, Bopret, and ate it. I'm chayav Malkus. Apparently, that's not true. You know what I'm chayav when eating Meiser Sheni chayav Malkus? Mishra pnei achoimo. Meaning, listen to the tremendous chiddush. Only once the fruit was inside the choimo and then left the choimo, then I'm not allowed to eat it. Wow. Get that? In other words, it sounds as if, although it's not true, but it sounds as if, as long as the Meiser Sheni never saw the inside of Yerushalayim, I can eat the Meiser Sheni without pidyon. Only once it was in Yerushalayim, it was absorbed in the walls of Yerushalayim, and then I take it out, then if I eat it, I chat malchus. Get that? Now we're going to see the source and we're going to see Tosfos. My time, why is that? You should eat the Meiser Sheni in front of Hashem. What's in front of Hashem? Inside the walls of Yerushalayim. Uksiv, and it also says, Lo tuchel lechol bishorecha. You're not allowed to eat the Ma'aser Sheni in your gates, meaning outside Yerushalayim. What's the correlation? Whenever I can fulfill eating in front of Hashem, i.e., the fruit is in Yerushalayim, then once I took it out of Yerushalayim without eating it, then I am chayav. There's an Isser and Chiyuv Malkas if I ate it outside Yerushalayim in the gates of Tel Aviv or Bnei Brak. As long as I don't have the it's not a lavanita class exactly. It's not, but with correlation between the do and the don't. Whenever I don't have the fruit is outside wherever it is. Never saw the face of Hashem Elokim, the inside of Yerushalayim. Then there is no prohibition of eating it as it is. That's a very big, tremendous chiddush. That wasn't like we learned through the entire Shas. Look what Tosfos says. Frek Tosfos. Look at the second to last Tosfos. Yeah, the middle kind of second to last Tosfos. Amar b'Yochanan v'chulei v'kosher dekeven dekodem shira pnei abayis achinam demutar oloch lechutz im ken lama utzkak lo'olam lifnus ma'aser sheni. Tosfos says a very big question, very basic question. If you're telling me that I'm allowed to eat my ma'aser sheni outside Yerushalayim, why do we spend 5 dapim bov metzia and half a masechta ma'aser sheni about redeeming the kedusha? Which kedusha shmusha? I think I'm bored with my life. I'll eat the ma'aser sheni and finished. Right? If it's allowed to eat ma'aser sheni, and ma'aser sheni only becomes an issue if I took it to Yerushalayim and foolishly took it out, what is said mistake. Other than that, it's okay. If I picked up I did meruach, I took ma'aser sheni, and if I'm eating it, it's good. Why should I be paid? Right? It's okay to eat. Answers to says ve'shloima the vadei kalav. As we see all the time, there are all types of prohibitions. If you ate it before it ever saw the face of Yerushalayim, there's no prohibition, there's no negative commandment to love. Aval aseh ika dechtiv etzarta kesef beyodecho aval b'lo pnei Eloi. You're breaking an aseh. If you eat the ma'aser sheni, what does it say? V'tzarta, last week's parsha. V'tzarta hakesef beyodecho. You should. The Torah says yichak mimcha mokoim. It's too far for you to go to Yerushalayim. You have to redeem on money, collect the money in your hand, and go to Yerushalayim. So the Torah does command me positively not to eat. It happens many, many times. The mitzvahs aseh is negative, like tashbisu, bechometz. You should make sure there's no chometz. It's a positive commandment who tells you no. In other words, the Torah tells you you should be poide if it's outside Yerushalayim and not what? And not eat. So really, you don't get malchus, but you still broke a mitzvahs aseh if you ate it outside Yerushalayim. Achar dvor meile, I saw the Rambam. Actually, I saw the Rambam before Tosfos. The Rambam says if you eat ma'aser sheni outside Yerushalayim, even before it ever came to Yerushalayim, every time to Yerushalayim, you get makas mardis medarabonon. Interesting. So he believes that if you broke the aseh, there's also an isur derabonon, a negative one, to eat the fruit outside Yerushalayim. So you're not malchus free. You don't get the 39 malchus deoraisa, but you get the malchus derabonon, which have their own set of standards. So the Maisa, don't try it at home. And I'm actually being serious because today also have Maisa Sheni. You have to redeem it. You have to have Puruta Chamura. You have to, You can't just eat Maisa Sheni. Why? Although it's not a lav d'oraisa, but A, you're breaking an assay. B, it's an Isra d'Rabbanan according to the Rambam. Baruch Hashem. Now comes the Gemara with a very fascinating story. Meisivi, fascinating case. We're now questioning Meisivi, what we just said. Meisivi. What did we say? That if it's outside Yerushalayim, you're not breaking an assay. If the fruit, because what did we say now? If you have the fruit of Ma'aser Sheni, the produce of Ma'aser Sheni, wheat, barley, whatever, and then Ma'aser Sheni was separated, and the Ma'aser Sheni never came into the walls of Yerushalayim, there's no Isur D'Oraisa of eating it, right? There's an assay, the Rabbanon, no Malchus, no Isur D'Oraisa. Okay, fair enough. That will be questioned. Meisivi. Rabbi Yossi Omer says the Braisa b'shem Rabbi Yossi. Kohen, this is a Kohen. Before we continue, let me just give you the introduction. Let me ask you a question. A Kohen is allowed to eat Truma. It's actually a mitzvah. A Kohen is also allowed to eat Chulin. It's a mitzvah. So wait a second. If I have a coin and I have my own field right outside the Orei Levim, right? There's a small area for fields, and I'm a Kohen, and in my free time, and I'm not in Beis Hamikdash, which is actually most of the year, I grow some figs, as we're going to see. So now I have figs, and I don't have to take Meiser, right? I don't have to take Truma, no? Because what's Truma? What's Tevel? It's a mixture of Truma and also Chulin. I can eat Truma alone, and I can eat Chulin alone, right? I'm allowed to eat tomatoes and peppers, so I can eat tomatoes and peppers together. What's the problem? So, right? Is that so? A Kohen doesn't have to take Meiser and Truma some Meisers? What? You're right, but not only. Even without that, you happen to be right. Even without the Levi, the answer is no. A Kohen is not allowed to eat tevel. Yeah, there's sources for that, which we're not discussing right now. If a Kohen has his own tevel, his own mixture of good and bad, which were never separated, isul. It's an isul, and he gets malchus if he eats it. In other words, the Kohen is allowed to eat truma and chulin once separated, but he's supposed to be mafrish. He's supposed to separate it and then eat whichever one he wants, or both. Yeah, but he's not allowed to eat the mixture before it was ever separated. Besides, Tzvi, you're right. That we're going to see that too. Says the Mishnah, says the Bryce, Kohen should also be ordered to Eina Shel Tevel. The Kohen, excuse me, a Kohen that has in his hands a te'ena, one te'ena, one big fig, let's say, of Tevel. No Meiser was taken from that one fig. The Omar, what should he do now? What does he say? Omar, he says, te'ena zu, he starts separating. Now, I want to be clear. I don't like the word in English separating. It's called mafrish. It's not exactly the same. Mafrish and separate is not exactly the same. The tumas u'maislis doesn't begin with physical separation. First, that's what I used to take maislis a lot because I lived in Tel Aviv and the the matzevs they're not so gesund with tumas u'maislis. I had to, when I was a bocher. So what do? You take all the fruit and you first of all declare, and you say, some fruit is meiser rishon, turma, meiser rishon, meiser sheni v'chulei. Right? This is Meiser Rishon, this is Meiser Sheni, or Meiser Oni, right? Yeah? And then you separate. But before the actual physical separation, yeah, you have to declare and say, or in this case, you have one big fruit, one te'ena, imagine yourself one fig in his hands. He's actually designating different parts in the te'ena for different parts of Tumas U'Maisels before he cuts it with a knife. You get what I'm saying? In other words, he can just dedicate this is for Truma, this is for Meiser Rishon, this is for Meiser Sheni, etc. Yeah, basically, imagine yourself one teina or 50 grapes, doesn't matter. And you designate verbally and you say, this is Rishon, this is Sheni, this is Shlishi. Okay? Without actually yet taking them out, without separating them physically. Because to separate means physically. The English translation is never right. La'afrish does mean dafka. La'afrish means verbally, to designate and decide this is X and this is Y. As we're going to see now. Omar, te'ena zu. This te'ena, let's try and cut it to halachic pieces, not physical pieces. Turumoso be'ukta. The oiket, the top of the te'ena, is the smallest part, is what? That is for truma. Because truma can be very small. 150, 160, it's a small part. Meiser Rishon betzfoina. The Meiser Rishon, which should be bigger, should be a tenth of the te'ena, is in the northern part of the fig. You have one small fig, yeah. In the northern part of the fig is Meiser Rishon, 10 parts. Meiser Sheni ledroima. The Meiser Sheni, I'm now with my mind's eyes, I'm separating and I'm saying, look, the southern part of the te'ena is going to be designated as Meiser Sheni. Vehishnais Meiser Sheni, Vehu Yerushalayim. That Kohen, it happens to be the year of Meiser Sheni, first, second, fourth, or fifth year of the cycle, and he's in Yerushalayim, meaning he's allowed to eat it. Oi, alternatively, what's alternative Meiser Sheni, my friends? Meiser Oni, third and sixth. Or Meiser Oni Vu Begvulin. And it either says that the southern part is Meiser Oni, and what's Gvulin is outside Yerushalayim. You know what he does? He eats it. And he's 90% okay. You hear what happened here? He didn't have to actually separate it. Once he decided and he said, this te'ena is not one big mishmash balagan of all the things together because I'm not allowed to eat tevel even as a kohen. I now decided, Akilu drew the lines, this is Truma, this is Rishon, this is Sheni, and now I can say Burichatu, Boire Prioetz, and eat. Right? And for the most part, he is okay because he is allowed to eat Tuma alone and Tevel and Chulin alone and Meiser Rishon. Meiser Rishon, I'm allowed to eat Meiser Rishon of the Levi. Yeah. Because Meiser Levi is allowed to share the Meiser Rishon with me. Meiser Sheni, great. Why? Because Meiser Sheni, I'm inside Yerushalayim. But he forgot one thing. Like achas. Ouch. There's one thing they forgot here, and Tzvi, you're onto something before. Like achas. There's one item that Mr. Cohn forgot to mention, and that is what? What didn't he do? He said one part in the north is what? Meiser Rishon. Who gets Meiser Rishon? Levi's. Levi's. Mr. Levi, he gets a Meiser Rishon, right, with the jeans. He gets a Meiser Rishon, but then out of the Meiser Rishon, the Levi is supposed to give what? Thomas Meiser, 1/10 to the Kohen. That's where the Kohen, excuse my language, flunked because he didn't do that. In other words, there's still tevel inside. There's still a small mixture inside the big mixture. The Meiser Rishon, he said, this is Meiser Rishon, thank you. But the Meiser Rishon and the Truma, although both are permitted to you, but you have to declare the separation. You still have to say that Meiser, you should have said, you just forgot that one detail. You should have said Meiser Rishon is separated from, and by the way, who says he can separate it? The Levi has to separate it. It's not even with his hands. I'm not sure if he forgot it or is unable to do it. Right? He has to give it to the Levi, and the Levi will give him 1/10. And he didn't. He left the Meiser Rishon inside, mixed together with the Truma. So because there is a mini tevel inside the big picture of Meiser Rishon with the Trumas Meiser, on that he gets Malchus. Why does he get Malchus? Tevel. Tevel, tevel, tevel. Any kind of mixture which you didn't take care of, even though you're allowed to eat A and B separately, yeah, but together you're not allowed to eat them. Ever try cheeseburger? No, not everything you can eat separately, you can eat together. Okay? So now, v'zar she'ochlo. What about the same story exactly with the zar and non-kohen? Loike shtayim. Why loike shtayim? Because he is also eating truma. The same story would happen to a zar. A zar would have two issues. A, he's eating truma. Oops. Truma for zar is misa b'dei shomayim and malchus. And also, the same problem as a kohen, the mixture of Trumas Meiser and Meiser Rishon. Very good. Now listen to this. Funnily enough, ironically, had he not done anything, let's say the Kohen or the Israel would have just eaten one te'ena completely without saying any Meiser, without declaring any Meiser. What would be the case? You'd get one Malchus. Why would you get one Malchus? Says the Ritvo, if the whole thing is one big mixture, it has one name of tevel. There's one sin, one aver called tevel. It's true that the tevel is double folded. There's tevel including truma, and also it includes the trumas meiser. But at the end of the day, if it's all mixed up together, it's all in this hazy, fuzzy kind of tevel state. There's one avera called tevel. You like you only one. But Shenken, once you started separating, then you, Mr. Israel, you like it too. You already declared, here's Truma, it's Truma. Here's Meiser Rishon, Meiser Rishon. So you chayv on the Truma, boom, and you chayv on the Meiser Rishon because there's Trumas Meiser inside. The fact you separated it, you created more Isurim because you declared and you said, this is Truma, and you ate it. Then you ate Truma. Had you not said anything, you just ate it without any Meiser, you'd bechav one on all the different types of Tevel because it's one big balagan with no extra declaration. Declarations created more Isurim here. Yeah, because now he do have a truma on the top of the te'ena, and I'm eating it. And in the north, I have the thing belonging to the Levi, not separate from the other one, from the Kohen. So you have to. Okay. One thing is clear. Let's now focus on one thing. Meiser Sheni, what did we say? Meiser Sheni is good. Dafka mitzad Meiser Sheni, both Kohen and Israel are lucky. Nothing happened. Gurnish Givon, everything is good. Why? Because really, where is the Meiser? Where is he located? The Kohen was said in Yerushalayim. Because he's in Yerushalayim, right? He's not like it. Very good. So what do you see? Taime, the Isa Yerushalayim. Why isn't he like a third one or a second one? Because he's in Yerushalayim. Habigvulin like a sholosh. Sounds like. Why did the Bryce have to tell me he's in Yerushalayim? It's okay. He's in Yerushalayim, so there's no issue of Meiser Sheni. Mashma that if he's outside Yerushalayim, he would be like what? Also for the Meiser Sheni outside Yerushalayim. Yeah, that's not good. The Afal Gav de Lav Roe Pnei Choimo. You see that even though the Meiser Sheni is taken where? In Netivot, in Ashkelon, in Metula, in Beersheba, anywhere outside Yerushalayim, and yet you're telling me that he would be loike. You told me before that if Meiser Sheni never saw Yerushalayim, if he never came to Yerushalayim, that I'm not loike. Here it sounds like I am loike. It sounds like Meiser Sheni outside Yerushalayim. Person eating it gets malkut. Malchus answers the Gemara, no. The Aili the Apki. Okay, obvious answer. No, we have to make an ukimta. This story of the one fig, which is so versatile and full of maisras, is a story of a fig, a teina that came into Yerushalayim, with all the maisras separate, not separate, all the maisras designated, and then he took it out. That's why it's loike. Frag the Gemara, Yochim Eilamema. So what's a chiddush? What are you mechadish? Bishlema, if you told me to refute what we said before, it's a chiddush. But if you're telling me that this is a regular case of the te'ena brought inside, so now it clearly was caught inside the choima, now I take it out, of course I'm chayiv in ma'aser sheni. What's the chiddush? And the Rivan, remember the Rivan now. Rivan says that everything else is not a chiddush. To tell me that a kohen is loike for eating table is not a chiddush. To tell me this is a separation is not a chiddush. Answers the Gemara, no. We come with a different answer, which is to do with the sugi kiddushin we saw some time ago. We're talking here about not that it came into Yerushalayim, the te'ena, already all designated with different parts separate, but rather it was brought to Yerushalayim when it was tevel. It wasn't separated yet. Let's not talk about one fig, if you don't mind, even though it's the case, just to make it clearer. Let's have a whole box of figs. I bring it to Yerushalayim, but the Meiser Sheni was not yet mufrash. Wasn't mufrash. It's ready to be mufrash. At what point is Meiser ready and you meant to take Meiser from? What do you have to do to the box of Teinim? Memareach. I'm impressed. Memareach, you have to tidy them, you have to smoothen them, make them look nice and tidy and respectful, and then you become Chai B'Maiso. So let's say I brought to Yerushalayim a nice box of nice, fresh, beautiful figs, but Meiser wasn't yet taken. They are meant to be gemeisered, but they were not yet. And that's how they were brought to Yerushalayim, and then taken out of Yerushalayim. And even though the Meiser Sheni wasn't yet mufrash, I'm not allowed to eat it outside. Ooh. Because it was caught in the Kedusha. But that's a tremendous chiddush. Because I would have said up until now, if I have Meiser Sheni separate, clear, loud, and kicking and screaming, Meiser Sheni, and this is inside, it was caught by the Kedusha. But this Meiser Sheni is not yet there. It's only with a big P word, potential. Zog de Gemara v'kasava matona shelahumu kemishur mudamian, as we saw in Kiddushin. There is an opinion in halacha, as we see here. Matonos, meaning matnos, matnas kehuna, matnas anim, depends. Maiso, oni. The separation you have to do, the tithe, the maisos you have to take from the produce. If it's ready to be taken, it's as if it was taken already regarding certain halachas, such as this one. Which means, when do we say that the Kedusha of Yerushalayim chapped and taught the Meiser, that's it. You have to eat it right there and then, and you can't take it out to eat, even before the Meiser Sheni was physically or even verbally separated. And that's a tremendous chiddush. So let's revise. That one fig of Rabbi Yossi's Braisa, Rabbi Yossi is the master of the Braisa. The fig was brought to Yerushalayim completely secular. It was one fig. One fig is ready for Meiser. You can't tidy one fig, yeah, I'm saying there's one fig ready to take Meiser. I brought it to Yerushalayim, and it's not yet Meiser. I took it out, and I said, that's not, too late. Because potential Meiser Sheni was there, Matonis Shelo Hurmu, the Meiser Sheni is potentially there. Even though it wasn't yet mufrash, it's as if it was regarding the fact that now when you're outside, you already were caught by the tax authorities, so to speak, of the Choima. That's it. You have to bring it back to Yerushalayim and eat it there, B'Kedusha. Because the potential is already there. It's as if it was already separated and mufrash. That's a chiddush. Is that so? Yeah, are you sure? Are you sure that Rabbi Yossi is it follows that opinion. V'atanya, I'll bring you a contradictory statement. You okay? Yeah. Rabbi Shimon ben Yehuda Omer Mishum Rabbi Yosi. Heard? Rabbi Yosi. Rabbi Shimon is quoting Rabbi Yosi. And now he's bringing Machlokes b'Sham and b'Hillel. Maybe you can help me. When there's Machlokes b'Sham and b'Hillel, who are you supposed to follow? It's such a hard question. I don't know. Lo nechleku b'Sham and b'Hillel. That will be the quiz at the end of the Masechta. Lo nechleku b'Sham and b'Hillel al peiros sheloi nigmor melachton. Oh, both b'Sham and b'Hillel agree to the following case. Let's say there's fruit which is not yet ready for Meiser. How come you have fruit not ready for Meiser yet? You have a box of what? Of figs that looks exactly like my teenager's room. Or even worse, although can't be worse, right? A very, very big balagan, extremely untidy. Oh, mamish never was Masudar yet. And the Avru Yerushalayim, they're not even potentially there. It's so premature. Meiser is not meant to be taken yet. They passed through Yerushalayim. You pass through Yerushalayim one door, and then you left Yerushalayim. Sheif the Meiser sheni shalayim ve'yochad b'chol makom. No question there. Of course, there, even the most machmir opinion would say, of course you can, once outside Yerushalayim, nothing happened, because it was inside Yerushalayim, it wasn't even potential Meiser Sheni, it was premature. You were not chayiv b'Meiser. You could have actually taken and eaten, as long as you don't eat too much, or bekvias, or on Shabbos, you could have chapped it and eat, no problem. It's not chayiv b'Meiser yet. Maker din, yeah, and therefore, of course, afterwards, the story only begins after it's outside Yerushalayim. Then I will take my sheni, I'll be poider, redeem for money, do whatever I want, yochel anywhere. So when and where did B'Sham and B'Sila argue? Al peros shenigmar melachton. Oh, those pears are nigmar melachton. The pears are nice, ready, memurach, looking good, and they're chayev b'meiser. So potentially, my friend, you have meiser sheni right there in potential. The over Yerushalayim. They went inside Yerushalayim and then out. Listen now to who says what. Here comes the trick. Shebeshamay oimrim yachzir meiser shani shalom v'yechol b'Yerushalayim. You heard what Beshamay is saying? Beshamay are machmir kedarkom, and they say, once the matonos are potentially there and they're in Yerushalayim, potential Meiser Sheni was in Yerushalayim, you can't get out of it. Mister, you were caught by the radar of the Kedusha of Yerushalayim. Hey, Rabbi, come back to Yerushalayim and eat them there. You can't redeem them anymore because it's like Meiser Sheni completely separate that was in Yerushalayim and it has to be eaten over there by Kedusha. So Beshamai are saying, Beshamai are saying what we said Rabbi Yossi says. Ubesila say no problem. We don't believe in that potential business. As long as Meiser Sheni wasn't really separate, really clearly, distinctively there, separate completely, or at least verbally, this was Meiser Sheni. Meiser Sheni wasn't taken, no problem. We don't care what's inside Yerushalayim. And that's what Besilal say. Oy, oy, oy. And who's quoting B'Sham and Besilal, my friends? Which rabbi? Yosi. Oy vavoy. The question is so obvious, but the Gemara is already speaking out the question. If salkadaitach matonas which were not lifted, were not designated, were not taken, it's as if they're already taken, which means what? When you have the memurach, nice box, which is chai b'meiser, and once inside, they're already chai b'meiser, there's no way out, hakaltu mechitzos. Excuse me, the mechitzas caught him. And how can B'Hillel, which we obviously are supposed to follow, how can B'Hillel be lenient? What do you mean? And Rabbi Yossi quotes B'Hillel, obviously believing B'Hillel are on the right. Yeah? And you're telling me that even though the mechitzas caught onto that potential matonis shelo hurmu, we don't care. So Rabbi Yossi is contradicting himself. Yeah? Big problem. If you hold that's what Rabbi Yossi said, Rabbi Yossi is wrong. Let's revise. Let's revise the question. The question is as follows. And the first case was about a person eating. I eat that one fig, and I did almost everything right. I designated inside that fig, I don't have to make a picture on the wall. Yeah, you have a fig. And I said, this is Truma. Okay, this is my Rishon. This is my Sheni. Let's even ignore Truma and my Rishon. It's not the issue right now. Here's my Sheni. It's not potential. I know that, let's say the Te'ena has some, light green streak over here, like Te'enim. That light green streak of the Te'ena, Meiser Sheni, and I'm outside Yerushalayim, and I eat the Meiser Sheni. We check it from bugs a lot, yeah, it's bug free, and I eat it. I'm Chayev Malkus. Why am I Chayev Malkus? Well, it's outside Yerushalayim. No. It was inside Yerushalayim. Inside Yerushalayim, what's the chiddush? No, we said it was inside Yerushalayim without being separate. It was inside Yerushalayim with no Meiser yet. But even though Meiser wasn't taken or even designated, once it's in Yerushalayim, it's caught into the Kedusha of Yerushalayim. And if I eat it then afterwards outside, I get lashes for eating. And then we said there's a stira, because we saw regarding Pidyon, regarding redeeming, we saw that according to Besilel, even though the fruit was inside Yerushalayim, ready to be mufrash, but not yet mufrash, no problem. I can take it outside and still be poide, redeem the money, redeem the Kedusha money in Ma'aleh Adumim, wherever I am outside Yerushalayim, and eat the fruit, and the money I'll use in Yerushalayim. So make up your mind. Is being inside Yerushalayim without yet being Meiser Sheni, in a state of potential Meiser Sheni, does it determine the status of Meiser Sheni, or doesn't it? That's a question. Answers the Gemara. I hinted to the answer as I was asking the question again. Answers the Gemara, Omar Rabba, if you notice, it's not the same case. Mechitza le'echol deoraisa, mechitza likloit derabonon. If you noticed, the first case is a guy who came and audaciously ate the te'ena. The second case is a guy who redeemed the kedusha of the te'ena, and that's a heck of a difference. We tend to think that eating and redeeming is, two sides of the same coin. I'm reading again. Says Rabbah, mechitza lechol deoraisa, which means mina toiro, once the Meiser Sheni was caught inside Yerushalayim, and I take it out, if you eat it, you chayev. If you ate it, you're mechutzef to eat it. Boom, boom. I hope the teina was really tasty because you get 39 malchus, yeah? So it better be a good one, yeah? Once it's inside, minatoira, you get malchus. If you eat it outside, S. Mechitza likloi to the rabbonon. But if it was inside, and afterwards, liklot here means regarding pidyon, and then you redeem the kedusha, that inability to be paid for money after it was inside the walls, that's on Gzera de Rabbanon. That's Rabbanon invention. So what? V'chi gozu Rabbanon ki isa be'enei. Be'tivlei lo gozu Rabbanon. Rabbanon says as follows. Rabbanon said, listen, we're not sure about this business potential, and therefore we'll go middle of the road. When the te'ena or the Meiser Sheni is really separate, like in the first case, we say we're goizer. We're goizer and we say eating, if I'm saying, mechitza likloit, you want to redeem, you want to be poy to eat, you're not allowed to be poy the Meiser Sheni only if the Meiser Sheni was really separate already inside Yerushalayim. But if it was part of just a nice, tidy, potential Meiser Sheni, not real Meiser Sheni, then they were not goizer, and you can be poyed outside, and that's exactly down to the T what Basila said. I'm repeating, and I'll say it again, although we don't have much time, but I want you guys to understand it. Case number one was a guy ate. It's much worse. If you eat the fruit outside Yerushalayim, even though it's only potentially Meiser Sheni, you over Yisrael Doraisa. And therefore, even if the fruit was inside Yerushalayim, not separate, was just memurach, and potentially it had the ability to be Meiser Sheni, that's bad enough. Now you took it out, you want to eat it, lashes, because you're over the Doraisa. No games over here, my friend, that's a Doraisa, okay? Mashe'en ken, the prohibition to have it inside Yerushalayim, outside Yerushalayim, and be poide, and say the kedusha of this fig goes on the 5 shekels, and the 5 shekels that take to Yerushalayim to buy a sausage, that is only the Rabbanon. Aha. Rabbanon said, okay, we're mitigating, we're being nice and more lenient, and therefore, if there was real Meiser Sheni, there was nice, glaring, separate, real physical Meiser Sheni, and it's inside the Choima, and then you took it out, Rabbanon say, also to be poide. If your poide doesn't work, you may get Makkos Maudas, doesn't work. Mashe'enken, if it's only potential Meiser Sheni inside Yerushalayim, part of a group of fruit which wasn't yet taken, Meiser Sheni wasn't physically taken verbally, then Rabbanon were not they didn't go that far. Rabbanon didn't go that far to be oyster pidyon there, and that's what Basila is saying. That's exactly Basil. It's perfect. Basil say if you had potential Meiser Sheni inside, just memurach, nice fruit which can be Meiser, but aren't yet, and then you took it out, to be poida, you're allowed to be poida. Only to eat you cannot. But to be poida you can, because eating is the oraisa and poida is the rabbanon. That's the difference. That's the difference. Weiter. That's answer number one. Ravina Omar. Ravina has an entirely different answer. כגון דנקית לבקניה, וטיפשות בה דרב פופה. Ravina is taking us all the way to the beginning of the sugya. I want to remind you, Rav Yossi never said anything about potential maestros originally. We put the words in his mouth. In his mouth. In other words, when you have, we ask the question, what's the chiddush of Rabbi Yossi? There's no chiddush. What's Rabbi Yossi telling me? I said, if I eat Meiser Sheni outside the wall, then I'm Chayiv Malchus. Come on, we learned that in Kita Daled. What's it telling me? So then we had to kind of invent a terrence. The chiddush is, it was only not Meiser Sheni, it was potential Meiser Sheni, in and out, blah, blah, blah. Comes who? Ravina, and says, no, I have a different answer. Says Ravina, you know what's the chiddush? What's the chiddush that I can't eat Meiser Sheni outside the Yerushalayim? Remember the case at the beginning of our very own shiur today? 9:30. What did we say? We said that if you are inside Yerushalayim, you have a long cane, long rod, long stick. The end of the stick, what do you have? You have, pain, Meiser Sheni, Kachol Balayad. You have Meiser Sheni. We're not sure. Is that called masa? Is that called milu'oi? Because if I'm inside and I'm wearing the backpack, I have mamish something outside, or I'm facing the outside with the fruit is outside and I'm inside and we're touching each other, then we said it's too close for comfort and the Meiser Sheni cannot be redeemed. But we had a question, if the Meiser Sheni is completely outside on a long rod 5 meters away, and I'm carrying it, I'm not carrying it mamish, it's being carried with my force through a stick, it's more indirect, more of a grome. So maybe then, am I or am I not allowed to eat the Meiser Sheni? Excuse me, am I allowed to redeem the Meiser Sheni still? Or is it considered too late as if it's already inside Yerushalayim? Bingo! That's the case of Rabbi Yossi. When Rabbi Yossi said that I'm chayev, or he hinted to the fact that I'm chayev on Meiser Sheni, if I eat it outside, that was the case. He's talking about Meiser Sheni, right? That was on a cane, and Havamina would be that I can be poide. The answer is no, you can't be poide. It's already inside. It's already kilo inside Yerushalayim, and now there's no way you can be poided whatsoever. That's it. You have to bring it inside and eat it there. Your point of no return. And if you did eat it, let's say, eat it with after pidyon, too late. Because even with a long cane, it's kilo inside Yerushalayim. Once Meiser Sheni is inside Yerushalayim, that's it. Irrevocably, it's there, and you just have to eat it there. And you can't take it out anymore, and you can't do bipoid. You have to inside the actual item itself. You have to eat. You don't like figs? Give it to your friend. That's the answer, and therefore we now answer the teiku that really one even held by a cane, it's ill already inside. I want to add two things, even though we're a little short of time. Two important facts. I said to you, based on Rashi, I was right according to Rashi, the bikurim. When are you chayav and bikurim? You're Israel, You eat bikurim chayav misa. Mishira pnei abayis, motzira pnei abayis. Beis Hamikdash, said Rashi. If the bikurim are inside Yerushalayim, not just Yerushalayim, Beis Hamikdash, and you're Israel and you eat it, you chayav misa, you chayav malchus. Misa b'dei Shemayim. Now the Rambam says no. The Rambam says bikurim and Meiser Sheni once they enter the walls of Yerushalayim. He says Yira Pnei Abayis means from the outside. In other words, the Rambam says once bikurim are or in the walls of Yerushalayim, and you want to have a munch, you want to munch a grape or two, you walked a long way from home. Once inside Yerushalayim, don't do it because you have misa b'nei Shemayim. That's Rambam. Another point I want to make, but it's not so necessary for now, and we still have to finish Amud. It's a general knowledge. If we have time, 10:30, I'll say it to you. Now let's talk about the barber shops in our neighborhood. We live in such a Haredi neighborhood, unbelievable. Did you see the big sign? Ein oid milvado. What an impressive sign. Ein oid milvado is so full of emuna. And what's going on inside Ein oid milvado? Isol deoraisa. People, what do? They cut the payas. They cut lo lein rochmano litzlon. They're barbers, Jewish barbers, and they cut the payas of the Jewish customers. Ein oid milvado. I'm so impressed with the emuna, pshia, kenan, hora. I parked my car there yesterday. I was moved by the Ein Od Milvado. Oy, 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 oy. Einod milvado, and therefore we're over doraisa every few minutes. Pshi, unbelievable. The Kitzer, how many Isurim are there? Einod milvado. How many Isurim are there related to removing hair besides Shabbos? What do you think? In other words, what I'm asking general questions. In general, I became from 2 seconds ago, and I'm asking you, how many prohibitions does the Torah, the Bible, the Old Testament, has to do with removing hair? Besides Saturday, I know I'm not allowed to cut my hair on Saturday. My rabbi told me that in Aish. So I'm asking, yeah, what this? What, no. It's not a test. You can say whatever you want. Oh, to shave the face. So fine, very nice. And another one on here, that's a separate Easter. Over here is a separate Easter to do kocha. And the third, we're going to discuss it all. And the third one, what? Very good, very good, very good, very good, very good. Bingo. If a person shows sorrow over a dead person, on that it says, lo yikrechu kolcho. A person who removes, in other words, he basically plucks out, yeah, he eradicates, pulls out some hair in order to demonstrate sorrow. That was in this week's parsha. Why are you laughing? It's sad. Yeah, it is. And what? And he does that to show Avelus. That's Bonim Hashem Atem Elokechem. Perek Yudalid in Parsha, it says, you are Hashem's children. Don't look ugly and don't be too sad either. No, there are three separate hair-related isurim. One is for the beard, yeah, that is zekanchem pas koncha. There's lo takifu pas roshchem. Don't make your hair look round like a galach, like a Catholic priest, meaning you cut this, or like it's very fashionable today also, like that, yeah. That's the second isur. There's one on the beard, one on the side, on the, how do you call them? Sideburns, right, sideburns, right, sideburns. Thank you. That's two separate, each one contains a few isurim. Each one is like a separate section, separate father to many. And the third issue is to pull out hair from anywhere in the head, on the head. I don't have much, Baruch Hashem, and I'm not the Avelus, Baruch Hashem. But if I pull out some hair over here to show sorrow over that person, with many halachic conditions, that's a third issue called lo yikrechu kolcho. I'm just being very general. Yeah, you can say it's also b'chukusayim, but that's chukusayim is a general issue. I don't think you like on that. Chukusayim lotelach is also to dress like a goy. Chukusayim is not chayv malchus, as far as I know. It's a lav shebechlolus. I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100% sure. I'm scared to make mistakes already. But chukusayim is more general. To dress very goyish is also b'chukusayim, whatever that means. You're right, but it's more. I'm talking more specific isurim on here. Yeah. Oh, hair splitting is so. No. Says the Mishnah, korech kolcho beroishoy. A person's korech kolcho, he took up how much hair will be discussed later. Yeah, and he pulls out hair. My father, my mother, korech kolcho. The mekif pas roishoy. What's lahakif? To round up, to round out, to make like round, meaning as you go around your hair, you have over here and over here, you're cutting it. The mashchis peas zekanoi. Now this, by the way, is also if you cut close, even without hashchoso. Hashchoso means mamish like with a razor. Here it's also even without a razor, not like they think. Yeah, a makif peas roisha. You basically make a short, very short haircut over here to cut the peas, looking like lehakif, to make like a round, like a crown, like that. Or mashchis peas zekanoi. Yeah, you with a razor or non-kosher shaver, which is as like a razor, you mashchis, you cut any part over here, as will be discussed. And here comes the fourth one, which is not hair related. There's a similar issue to korech kolcho, that is to lisrot, srita and gdida. One is with the lisrot is in modern Hebrew too, to scratch. If you scratch over that person, yeah, the levaya shiva, you're so sad, and in order to demonstrate, my avelus, my tragedy, I scratch and take out blood like that on my hand or any part of the body, as far as I know. Or using a knife is another issue called gedida, not mentioned here. You chayiv isudoraisa. I think so. I don't know if it has to be the same day or could be even a year later. That's another question. But it's only if it's avalut related. If a person scratches himself, it's not that's a good halachically, but it's not called that. No. If you bring out blood because you scratch an annoying mosquito bite, something you scratch, that's not srita. No, srita is over that person. However that works, we're going to discuss. Now, continues the Mishnah. Salat srita achas al chamisha mesim. He had 5 people dead. It's not funny. He had 5 people in his family who died. He had a car accident, and he's making one srita, one scratch, declaring, "I'm now sorry over Daddy, Mami, Princey, and Shmuli." all four, all five, but one srita, but demonstrating sadness over all five people. Or alternatively opposite, chamish sritos al meis echod. There's one man, oh, my beloved friend, my beloved father, whatever, yeah, and he's doing five sritos, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, he has five big finger, long nails, and he started five sritas, five different ones over one dead person. Get that? Either one srita over five dead people, or five sritas over one dead guy. Yeah. In both cases, chayv al kolachas ve'achas. The Gemara will discuss how exactly that works, but he's chayv separate set of malchus in each one. Wow, that's 5 times 39, which you know how much that is. It's a lot. Now, how much is 5 times 39? Ala roish. Now let's talk about hakofo. This is now the head part over here. Look, this part. I'm not halochal ma'isa 100%. More or less between here and here, or here machlokas rishonim, here, more or less that area over here. Ala rosh shtaim. Achas mikan ve'achas mikan. Says the Rivan like that. You have two separate lavim, one on here, one on here, which means even if you did it with one hasro, with one ma'aseh, one action you did, and you cut both together, as far as I remember, even with one hasro, you have two. Each one is a separate iser. Even though they're mentioned together, lahakif means to do both together. So if you makif one and one, either one or both together, you chayiv in each one a separate set of malchus. One here and one here, that's 39 plus 39. Ala zokon, how many chiyuvim are there if you shave the beard? Ala zokon, shtay mikan, look at me, two over here, under the, right, the Rivan says that the head, which is also, yeah, the head is divided into two, right? The skull and the jaw. I mean, it's more than two, but generally. So the skull, these are two from above that bone over here, the cheekbone here, two over here, and then two. The beard is those two. Shtay mikan. Yeah, the achas shtay mikan. No, but he says are really five, and these two shtay mikan ve'achas milmata. This one, if you shave this, you chayiv. These you chayiv, and this you chayiv. Each one you chayiv. When you shave with a razor one morning, you chayiv 5. 1, 2 below the, not the temple. It's not the temple. These are the temple. Below the that bone, below the jaw you chayiv 2. Middle of the road another 2, and this one, the chin, is a fifth one. So you chayiv 5. Every morning chiloni yid or yid that doesn't know shaves with a towel with a razor is chayiv 5 times 39. That's kind of cool. Yeah. Ablezer oimer, im nitlu kulon ke'achas, eno chayav velo achas. Ablezer argues and he says, no, if you took them in one go, did a nice shave with a shaver in one go, one maisa continuously, is only chayav one set of malchus and not 5. We'll discuss later. Ve'eno chayav ad shitlenu batal. Back to Tanakama. Tanakama says, the head you chayav even if you cut very short, yeah, in a way that the hair cannot be folded, you already chayiv, even without tal, without mamash razor, shaving mamash 0, you chayiv. Here, in the beard, it says, l'tashchis. What's l'hashchis? To destroy completely. And chayiv achitlenu batal. In other words, because the beard, as opposed to the head, there's a separate iser of hashchosa. What's hashchosa? Complete destruction of the hair, which means you shave closely, like with a towel. With the razor, only then you chayiv. Ablezer oimer afilu liktu b'malket u'berehit ni chayiv. Ablezer says no. Even if you took malket is like pincets. How do you call the tweezers? Thank you. You took tweezers and you plucked it out in the beard. You chayiv. It's not halacha. That's what Ablezer says. Rehitni is like a shaver, and like all the day. Rehitni is basically like something to smoothen the hair, but it's not as strong as towel. It's not as strong as razor. It's something that smoothens the shaves off the hair. Rabbi is more machmir. Basically, says like over here too, any kind of close shave or plucking out. But then the comment says no. Only time we mamish cut with a knife, and a knife that cuts close the whole thing. Only then you chayiv. Tono abonon. Now you have to remember in the Torah. That's fine, no problem. Aloch, it's okay. Yeah, but it's okay. Tono abonon. Lo yikrechu. Now you have to remember there are two psukim about koncho. One of them is Pashas Emo regarding kohanim. It's very misleading. It says the Kohanim should not be koreach kocha beroishom. The Kohanim should not pluck out hair to show sadness. Kohanim. And then there's another posuk, the posuk which we saw last week's parsha that says, lo yikrechu kocha about Klal Yisrael, about any Jew. Lo yikrechu kocha, lo tasimu kocha ben einechem lameis. Here, I'm looking in the sidebar, Vayikra Chaf Aleph, Dvorim Yudalid. You are Hashem's children, and that applies to all Jews. Don't have kocha, and it says bein einechem. Don't have korcha here in the forehead, lemes, to show sadness about a dead person. So each pasuk is teaching me something else. Tono bonon, lo yikrechu. Yochel afilu korach arba v'chamesh krichos lo yichai velo achas. Lo yikrechu korcha sounds to me one prohibition. Let's say the person made 4 or 5 bold patches. Boom, boom, boom. He's so sad over the dead guy. Would it be chayv only one? No. Talmud lo yimor korcha. You notice the words here? It says lo yikrechu kocho. That's too many words. Lo yikrechu kocho. Don't bold yourself, bold spot. Why is the Torah repeating? That's why. Lo yikrechu kocho. Each kocho itself is a chiyuv. So every tuft of hair that you pull out, you have a separate set of malchus. It's 39 times of a lot of hairs in there. So each and every kocho you have separately. Yikrechu kocho. Now, beroishom Talmud loymor. What does the word beroishom come to tell me? The Rivan says, of course, roshom means the head. That's not a chiddush, but the question will be understood by the answer. Lefi shenema lo tizgoidedu. That's in us by Dvorim. What does it say in Chumash Dvorim Perek Yudaled? Lo tizgoidedu. Tizgoidedu means to cut yourself with a knife. V'lo tasimu kocho ben einechem lameis. Oh, did you hear that? It says, don't create kocho, the bald spot where ben einechem, between the eyes, like where the tefillin is. Where the tefillin are here. Maybe yochel yichayev elal ben einay bilvad. Wait a second. I would read Dvorim, Prosha Pshat, and I would say, hey, if I pull over here or over here to show sadness, that's okay. It only says over here. No. Minan rabos kol rosh. You know how I know that the entire head, meaning any part of the head, you chayev if you pluck out hair? Talmud loymer beroishom l'rabos kol rosh. It says in Vayikro in Parshas Emo regarding Kohanim, roishom. Roishom means any part of the hair. You chayev any part of the head. Okay, so Vayikra is teaching me don't be misled by bein einayim. Really, any part of the head, if you pull out, you chayev. Frag the Gemara. Wait a second. Ve'enli ela bekohanim sheribe ben kosu mitzvah seseros Yisrael minayin. The question is very obvious. Excuse me. No, the Torah in Chumash Vayikra Emor talks to kohanim. As we know, kohanim have many, many more mitzvahs that we don't. Right? Marriage prohibitions, tuma, mechabed, we have to mechabed them. So, but the kohanim, maybe we're more machmir. And the Torah says kohanim, they are, a class on their own. So any part where they pull out the hair, very nice, they are chayiv, any part. But I'm a regular Jewish guy, stam Yisrael, minayin. Maybe by Israel, who are mentioned in Chumash Dvorim, ben einechem, maybe by regular Jew, only ben einechem I'm not allowed to pull out the hair. And says the Gemara, and here comes peace and love between all the different parts of the Isur. Ne'emar kan korcho, v'ne'emar lalan korcho. Very nice. That's called in Old Chinese Gzera Shovo. The word korcho appears in Vayikra about Kohanim. It appears in Dvorim Yudaled Aleph, Posuk Aleph about Klal Yisrael, Zorim, regular Jews. Korcho. Malalan chayvel kol korcho vekorcho. One of them taught me, Yikrechu Korcho. What is it by Kohanim? Any Korcho. One, boom, Malchus. Any new pool is a new set of Malchus. V'chayev al rosh keben einayim. And also you chayev on any part of the head, not only over here. Afkan chayev al kol korcho v'korcho. V'chayev al rosh keben einayim. So too, korcho imports. We're making an import from Kohanim to regular Jews, telling me that all the chumras of kohanim, of any pulling, any hair, and even multiple pullings out, you chayv on all. You did one here, one here, one here, one here. Not only here, you chayv. And you chayv a separate set of malchus on each one. And that's kohanim and we export it to Israel. The same would apply to Israel. Import export has to be both ways. What's the posuk of Israelim in Dvorim teaching? What does it teach me about the kohanim? Malaran al meis, afkan al meis. Very, very nice. Which means it doesn't say in Chumash Veikro but Kohanim that it's mace related. It doesn't say it has to do with the velus and tragedy and loss. No, it says lo ikrechu. So you're asking good. Let's say the guy's time has this, tick, psychological problem. He likes pulling out. Is that a problem? No, no. Why? Because since in Vayikra, in Dvorim, it says al meis, lo ikrechu kocho, and it says mefurosh over dead person. So to by Vayikra, the only prohibition is over a dead person. But if you stop pull out hair, you may want to go to a psychologist to deal with it, but there's no isur d'oraisa. It's only osur if you do it, if it's tragedy, loss, death related. And this is how Kolcho taught us, each one taught on the other. Very nice. Wow. We finished now at 10:30. So tomorrow we are in the very last line of the page. Shkoyach, atzlocho v'rocho. May we only go to kosher haircuts. You should know in this neighborhood on a positive spin, after I was a little bit negative, there are a few barbers here. Not a few, I mean, there's quite a lot of barbers who have a hefshel. They went to a course and they taught them exactly how to do a kosher haircut with foil from Avremi Eisenberg and some others, and they're very good barbers and they're kosher and they give a kosher haircut. They will never do a non-kosher haircut. Chas v'shalom. Should all support them. Atzlacho v'lacho. I'm sure in America there's also kosher people. In England, I don't know where they watch us in Lakewood. Atzlacho v'lacho. Thank you very much to YouTube and to Torah Anytime.